I think it's buddy.
Wow, it's so real. It's all 3D and stuff.
It's okay, I got my cool sunglasses on. Oh wait, that's you that has sunglasses.
I wear my sunglasses at night.
Oh, this helmet, it protects so much.
Alright. Well, folks, now that we've got the newer video game consoles out of the way, welcome to another TMOG video. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. I'm Kaiju K. The girl with the green antenna in the background is, of course, Rebel Vanity.
Hello.
And of course, to the upper right, upper right of me, but I'm pointing upper left for some reason. Over there is Subliminal.
That's me.
And if you can hear, you can actually hear him now.
That's me.
Now that's because we are actually in a different room right now. We're in a room with better recording acoustics, if you will. Tonight we're going to throw a new video at you, so you'll enjoy it. This video, of course, is going to be the console war. Now, in case you don't know what the console war is, because many of you are probably too young to actually know what that was, back in the day there used to be a huge kerfuffle with multiple game systems. Those were games coming from Nintendo, Sega, Sony, and Xbox. Or Microsoft, rather, sorry. Now, these game consoles were constantly trying to one-up each other in a vague attempt to be the best they ever could be. That no one ever could be. To catch them was their real task.
You seem to be jutting a lot.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to knock this back to. We're gonna have to change this. We're gonna have to be. We'll be right back, folks. I gotta change some settings here, and we're back, folks. Sorry about that little jump cut. We had some difficulties. I was trying to change around a few things on our recording, and well, lo and behold, I kind of forgot to test it first. So knocking it down to 30 frames per second seemed to just cause us to judder to no end. So, in response, we're now going to attempt to be running back at the 50-60 mark. Hopefully it'll work out. If not, I apologize. It's probably just our horrific internet again. Oh, I love that picture right there. I'm sorry, I'm pointing at the dirt picture in the other picture. You can't see it.
Unfortunately, it's priceless.
That actually seems to be running a little. Well, it was running a little.
Did you
slowly.
have to say something?
Well,
I was gonna watch it and let you know if it started juddering again.
we're gonna have to we're just gonna put this over here for a second, put this back up over here, and then we're gonna put this down here. All right, well, folks. Anyways, the idea is this is another challenge, but unlike the last challenge that ended up with us having, well, sadly a three-way tie.
No one watched it.
No, it's okay, Sub. It's okay.
I made a good story and no one watched.
You did well, man. You did well.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't say most of the story anyway, so.
Well, yeah, but still. So what we're doing is we're going to do a semi-challenge. This one really won't have any winners or anything like that. It's basically, we went out of our way to make up ideas for our own video game consoles. Now, I'm not going to say that our video game consoles are going to be anything amazing or anything wonderful or anything spectacular. But I will say this much, hopefully by the end of it, maybe somebody will get an idea, maybe somebody will create a new console, who knows. Don't you dare say a thing, Vanity. I see your lips snickering at the thought of the word small and subliminal. Yeah, that's right, I saw it. I saw it coming. So what we're going to do is each one of us...
assholes.
Hey, I was stopping her from saying it. You see, look at her. She was going to say something. I stopped her. Don't call me an asshole.
Oh, no. You can't fucking play that game. I could see through your lies.
Excuse me. You're not part of the console war. I'm sorry.
His console concerns puppies, so yes, he is.
No, his console is just a bunch of bones that you chew on.
Yes, but each one barks.
Why would the bones bark?
Try to dog's nuts.
Anyway, so this time around we're actually going to start it off with Subliminal.
Oh.
Followed by myself.
Oh.
Followed by Rebel Vanity. And then last but not least, we actually have something else from our buddy Redfield, who could not be here because he's going to be with family. We actually have Redfield, who actually designed his own as well, which I can actually just read off here. So, without further ado, Subliminal! Why don't you take a stab at it?
Okay, here's my game system idea, just to get system at first.
What's its name?
I didn't come up with a name. I was hoping someone would... I guess I'll call it the Universal Box. just to poke fun at other game systems. Not saying any names.
Oh, yes, I'm loving this. It's not like it doesn't sound like some other game console that's already out there already.
Alright, here's what it's basically going to look. It's going to look like a tower from a computer, but at the same time it's not. Because the only reason it's going to look like a tower computer is because because each spot on it is going to have a different type of disk or adaptable piece, I guess you could say. What it's going to be able to play is it's going to be able to play anything from PS3 and back. Xbox 360 is the last one before 1, right?
I believe so.
Xbox 360 and below.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to play anything from basically all the games except for the Wii and, you know, with the motion controllers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to also have Nintendo 64 availability, where you could like get an extra cartridge or something for it, and with that cartridge, the cartridge adapter comes a controller as well, just so you know. Each thing's basically going to be able to be played like just like Game Boy Advance and and Game Boy's Color and all that stuff basically as well. It's going to be able to play Nintendo DS or anything like that. PSP maybe. I haven't decided fully on that.
Okay.
Let me know if you guys think it would be a good idea. So basically, like I said, it's going to look like a tower of a computer, but it's going to be all these different game systems put together.
Okay.
Now, obviously, with all this, it's going to need a lot of space. It's going to need It's going to need spaces for each system, which I'm hoping I could at least get up to like. I'd say about what, like a terabyte maybe for each.
That's it's up to you, man. I mean,
because if you think about it, people are always running out of space, and then you gotta go and buy external hard drives just to get extra space, and that's a little ridiculous, you know? Why not have it so that you could actually have enough space for what you need?
Right. And
there's obviously the game screen, when it comes on, is gonna have you choose what system you're using at that time, and you could it's gonna have easily maneuverability where you could switch from system to system. I mean, yes, it will have a little lag time because, you know, it's switching systems, obviously.
Right.
But I'm hoping if enough time is put into it, it'll be like maybe 5-10 seconds or something like that.
All right.
Since the system's already on, it's gonna basically just be like, okay, basically like that.
Okay.
In a sense, I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about.
Well, I kind of have an idea of what you're saying. It's going to be basically what you're saying is it's a giant emulator system.
Pretty much an emulator system.
All right, and basically it's going to be like, hey, if you feel like playing anything from the 360 down, hey, go ahead, here it is, plug it in, and it runs. Yes,
and it's also going to have cloud save as well. That way you don't have to have the big games like 32 gigabytes and stuff on the system itself. You could have that on the cloud instead of on the system, and keep the small games on the system. That way, you know, you don't take up too much space.
Yeah. Cool.
There's also going to be a decent. There's probably going to be a cooling fan with the what is it? The liquid.
Liquid. If you have liquid cooling, you do not need a fan.
Okay, it's going to have the liquid cooling to keep it cool all the time for, you know, those addictive gamers, instead of, you know, a fan that clogs up and breaks easily. Now, obviously, there's going to be a port that you could detach and put a fan in if the liquid cooling breaks and you can't afford the liquid cooling and you can only afford the fan, but that's besides the point. There's going to be all these detachable spots where you could put certain things. There's also going to be a USB area where you could put in a USB to download any type of system you want to put into it, like say you want to put a computer into it as well.
Damn, okay, that's...
I mean, obviously you're going to need like an external hard drive and stuff for that and everything, just for the normal stuff of the PC. Everything else could go on the cloud as well, since, you know, infinite.
Right. In theory, yeah.
In theory. And the controller is basically going to be a mixture between Xbox 360 controller and the PS4 controller. Now, what I mean by that, so no one jumps to conclusions, it's going to have the buttons of the PS4, except for the triggers are going to be the Xbox 360 style.
Okay.
And obviously the touchpad is going to be the touchpad.
All right.
You know, and basically that's how that's going to be with the controller. Now, obviously, you could have different types of controllers set up. I'm hoping this would make people want to bring back the
joystick.
The joystick. That's it. It's been a while. Sorry, guys. It's been a while.
The sticky, clicky button thingy.
It's been a while since I played with a joystick, so I forgot. And no sexual innuendo is there.
You said it. You said it.
I don't need to play with the joystick. I got someone to play with it.
Oh, second player. Anyway.
Enters second player.
Alright,
So what you said last night?
Please do not make...
We're not bringing anything in our personal lives into this.
That was just supposed to be a joke.
But, what were you going to ask?
Well, is that everything? Or you have anything else you want to say about it?
You're basically going to be able to play any game you want.
Well, not 100%.
Well, not 100%, obviously.
Well, we have to move into the big questions now. These are the big questions that we're going to have to save for every one of these consoles. One of the first and biggest questions you have to ask yourself is, what's the price range on this thing going to be? Because you're talking something that's literally going to let you play any game from 360 down. Well, that means all the you're going to have to talk about all the royalties you're going to have to talk about with those people and everything like that. You have to set up the cloud server. You have to set up yourself, or somebody else has to.
Figuring on the prices of new systems, usually when they come out, like when the PS4 came out, it was like $500, $700. The Xbox One was what, like $800, we'll say, about.
Yeah, but one more thing though. Those are also games that have a library of, say, 200 games. You're talking about a game console that has a library of 200,000 games.
All right.
And not to mention, you got to remember that you have different ports that are attached to it for each one of those different game consoles to plug into.
Well, here's how I'm going to answer your question. See, it doesn't have to come with all of them.
Well, what would it come with?
Well, depending on what the price range you want to pay.
Oh, here we go.
With the price range.
So now we're talking bundles.
See, here's the thing. You could buy the whole system for over $1,000-something.
Yes, you could.
Or you could buy certain parts that you want with it for a lower price. So, say you want to buy just the Xbox, the PlayStation 3/2, since, you know, it's going to be backwards compatible anyways.
No, it's not. It doesn't have to be backwards compatible.
It's going to be.
Okay.
In order to make it so there's enough room and you're not lugging around a thing that's like a giant boulder, everything's going to be backwards compatible.
Okay. But here's the problem I had with that. You can't be backwards compatible for your system because your system doesn't have any backwards.
Yeah.
Backwards compatible would be like the PlayStation 4 being able to play PlayStation 3 games.
That's what I mean, though.
But
it'll be able to play every game system before its time. You know?
Well, right, but what I'm trying to say is that's not backwards compatible, my friend. That's holy shit, you can do this.
Right.
So what I'm talking about price ranges, you're talking about that you can bundle together different prices.
Right. Say you don't want certain things on it, you can make it cheaper that way. Like the least amount's probably going to be like $350 to $500, depending on what you want.
Right. So that's the first big question. Next big question. Now this one requires the use of this little thing right here, and your
It's not there?
imagination.
Hold on, I gotta get the hamster.
Yeah, wake that hamster up. So
He said he died.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. So the next question I have to ask you, and this is like I said, this is a semi-important one, is what exactly is your console going to actually look like? Because from the way you're sounding, it sounds like it's going to be a beast.
I was thinking of somewhere along the you know how the Viper Tower for the computers, how it looks, something like that. but it's also going to have the features of like be a little bit slimmer, I guess, in a sense. Not really.
Okay.
If you guys don't know what it is, just
You already explained the controllers. All right, so
did I give a good example?
Oh yeah,
for prices.
Well, the problem with the prices is,
Everything has to.
don't forget about me. Hey, Chris. Yeah, we're not gonna forget about you, man. Don't worry, we got you set.
If you have any questions, do ask. Besides any questions, I'm glad to answer. So
Welcome back, Redfield. So, anyways,
I got a good question.
what's the good question?
Who exactly is your system going to be marketed towards?
everyone.
Well, the thing about systems is there are two types of systems. There are systems that are aimed mainly for the teenage and up, and then there are other systems that are aimed for the teenage and down. And to give you a good example, you have PlayStation, which is definitely aimed for teenage and above. But then you have Nintendo, which is definitely aimed for teenage and below.
Exactly. That's why, since it's all universal, it's going to be everyone. Which is
Okay,
that's where the marketplace places
Well,
the money.
So I'm gonna throw at you a few issues I have with your system,
That's fine.
and you can see if you don't have to make them right. You can just explain them. First issue I have with your system, mainly, is that's no problem, Redfield. We understand. Is the price range. Now, $350 to $500 for a start off is fine, but is each module going to be a different price? Do you need to require a certain number of modules for it to run?
They're all the same prices.
Okay. Next, are the games going to come with the module, or are you going to have to purchase the games separately?
The games?
The games, yes. The games that you're going to be playing on it.
Well, if you have the games already, you could just put them in. If you don't have the games, I guess you have to go get them.
All right.
And if you can't go get them, they're going to be... I'm going to make a separate area, my own type of cloud, where it's going to have all the games you can't find anymore, especially those rare ones.
You mean the ones that are worth several $100s that you're going to completely wreck?
Yeah.
Well,
the ones that are so rare that people actually hold on to these things and sell them for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and when you get and say, hey, it's free in my library, you've just taken...
it's not going to be free.
No, I'm just saying, like, even if it's like, oh, this is $20 in my library, you've just completely and utterly destroyed that game.
Yeah.
So you see, there's where the issue comes in. Like I said,
I'll piss some people off.
okay, there you go. Another thing is, this thing sounds like it's going to be a behemoth. It does. Because you're talking about a gamer like myself who has favorite games on every console. So basically, for me, if I want to be able to play the games I want, I'm going to be spending a large amount of money, and this thing is going to be like...
Right, but you could also upgrade it to where you're able to play the newer versions of games and shit, because when those new systems come out, I'm going to basically create an adaptable piece to go to it.
Alright. Okay, last question I have for you, and then we'll just move on and we'll start reading off Chris's. Or, sorry, Redfield's. Alright, last question. Big one. Big important question. What are you looking at as far as the difficulty of your marketing for this system?
Define your question, actually.
Okay, for instance, when a new Nintendo game comes out, this console comes out, you're going to see Mario on there, you're going to see Link on there, and it's just going to be like, oh, hey, Xbox, you're going to see some of their new games, Sony X, but with you're talking a smorgasbord.
I was thinking of using the, what's the word I'm looking for when, mascot of each system, honestly. In a sense. Or the second.
Because the only other problem I have with yours is the billing you're going to have on it.
Yes.
Because you're going to want billing on that thing. Everyone's going to want billing on that thing.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Do you think Nintendo's just going to let you play Mario without giving them a bazinga amount of money?
Nope.
That ain't going to happen.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have a contract signed with each one, where everyone agrees that, especially for starting out, just to see how it is, I'll have not the best games, but some of the good games to see if people actually want it, and I'll have it so they see if people actually want it. I'll show them what's happening, and if it actually goes through, I'll be able to actually get all the rights in a sense, but not the rights because it's still theirs. It's just that I'm technically like borrowing it.
Gotcha.
I obviously am going to pay a certain amount towards them for letting me use it.
Right. So
I'm not going to be unfair and
that's not what I meant at all. You're misconstruing what I said.
Okay, then what do you mean?
Okay, well, for instance,
I was thinking of just giving them a certain percentage.
No. You misconstrued it.
That's
What I meant. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking marketing. For instance, you said you were going to bring out mascots. Okay.
If they allow it.
Well,
If they do not allow the mascots,
Make up your own.
I would just make a compilation of good games that will be on there.
Just let me continue.
Okay.
I wasn't done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
so for instance, certain games have certain mascots. Certain companies have certain mascots. Certain companies have games that have high playability. But with your console, you don't have any of that. You have literally, this is the library, everything from the Xbox 360 down. Do you have any idea how many mascots and games are involved in that?
I would.
If you're going to market the system as a system, you have to find something that's going to make it stand out.
I'd make a mutated version.
Oh dear! Nubu, it's Redfield again. I'm on another account. I'm Redfield again.
Why is he on another account?
I don't know. I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to move on with my day. All right.
What do you think of that? I'll have him coming out of a swamp, all
Here comes
mutated.
Mario with fucking Sonic's head on his chest. Help me! Help me!
For the best gaming experience.
Sit down.
You don't like that?
That's okay. So what are you gonna call this thing, Sub? I need a title. I need
an actual name.
Yeah, we need a title for it.
He called it the box.
Oh, that's right. So that was the subliminal from TMOG's Universal Box, a multi-part attachment warehouse block with liquid cooling, where you can play any game from the 360 down. And apparently, it's going to use mutated versions of video game characters. I don't know about that part, but it's cool anyway. I like the idea.
Don't forget about the part where you could actually update it to where you could have a computer in it as well.
Well, that's something that you would probably just have to have it from the start, though.
Probably.
So, I mean, that would probably be the it comes with kind of deal.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So I can respond faster, and while he eats Reese's. Oh, my goodness.
I want Reese's. Oh, I should have brought my Reese's.
You should have brought your Reese's, yeah. All right, so
They're in the freezer.
from here, folks, we're going to move on to our buddy Redfield, who's currently eating Reese's on a computer. And we're going to bring out his idea. His idea is the SGC, or the Starfish Gaming Console. So I'm going to read what he has written here, folks, and we're going to move on from there. So, the sole purpose is to provide a high-end gaming that can be kept up with newer tech. Basically, it is an easily upgradable. Since usual consoles do not do that, it would be considered one of the first of its kind not named a PC. PC Nation. You have fun.
I'm going to lose and I'll be right back.
Subliminal's got to leave. He's got a game show to be on. Yeah. So it's
We'll
just
be back in like 5 minutes.
it's just me and Revel and Redfield anyway. So anyways, we're definitely going to make fun of him. Okay, so its design would be similar to a PC's in that it would have parts that could be removed and upgraded. However, its sole purpose is gaming. There will be no computing or multimedia capabilities, at least not right away. This way, it is a success. There can be a new model that will allow such a thing. The layout of the console is like a PC's as well, only it would be a console form, with motherboard, processors, fans, etc. are all in a console layout. This would provide the look of a console without having to be confused with a PC. The games that could run on it are current generation games to start out. Since we are right in the middle of it, there's ample ammunition to see the console would be successful enough to go to the next gen and beyond. The games will be either CD form or digital download, with the console having its own market to buy games on. Sadly, this means that there will be no previous generation gaming. However, that does not mean the next consoles could not be released after this one... Cody! Shush, buddy, shush! I'm reading! Could be released after this one. Could have emulator download features. Anyways, the power source is kind of like the PS4 with video projection is HDMI. The price of the system would be $450 since it's a different type of console altogether. I believe it deserves a higher price, although the argument for lower price is present given the way it is designed. Well, there's more profit in the way of the console like this. Anyways, I believe that is all. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, so we have another one that's going to be using past games. Yeah, you give him that glare, and if you want, you can boppo him with that crossbow bolt. It's soft enough. So, from what I've read from this little ditty that he has, the Starfish gaming console, by the way, love it. We need an Easter version right away called the Chocolate Starfish. Woo! Oh, and Cody, you've been said hello to. So, what we have is another console that's using current gen games. So this is number 2. I think it's actually going to be number 4. Because mine doesn't use current gen, and I don't know if yours does or not. Okay. So, the main thing about this system is it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be using current gen games and how possible emulator download support later on in the game's lifestyle. It's going to look similar to a console, I guess. I don't know, probably another black brick. And it's designed specifically to play games that are already out. So, I mean, there's really not much more to say about it. I'm going to say that the $450 price range is probably deserving, seeing as you weren't very specific on what games could be played on it. So, I mean, you're talking PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, or 1, right? Xbox One now?
Yeah.
Xbox One, you're talking the whatever the heck Nintendo's new, the
Switch.
The Switch. Don't worry, folks, this is only a part 1. We'll probably do a part 2 of this one later on, so if Chris needs to work on more details, he can. I know I need to work on more details for mine.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry, he's whimpering at the door because Subliminal's outside the door and he wants to go see Subliminal, but we can't have that and be recording at the same time. So, the big thing with this console that I like is the fact that he made it so it would be upgradable. It's basically a console PC. Hey, this game requires a bit of a better card or a white brick. Okay, so apparently it's going to be white. So, I mean, you know, let's say that it needs more memory. Well, according to him, it'll probably be easy to just pop out a slot and pop in a new slot. Where Subliminals is going to basically be using, what is it, the cloud?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so where Subliminal is basically going to be using the cloud, he's going to be using more of the actual built-in processor with CDs and downloadable content. So that's pretty cool. I like that idea. And he was really, really straightforward with it. Mm-hmm. All right, so I guess this means we'll be moving on to mine because I decided to save Rebels for last, and I have a reason for it. I have a reason to save Rebels for last because I got a lot of questions to ask her. So let's pop down here, and I'll pop up my sheet real quick. Oh, you can tell when I'm looking at a sheet because the screen goes. Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez, where would I be without WordPad? All right, so imagine, if you will, you come home and your parents or your loved one or heck, someone just went out and bought you a brand new console. So, well, mine's going to be a black brick with a green line around the center that's going to light up when it's turned on. You know, pretty simple stuff. You turn it on, and the first thing it does is it pops up this library of games, and you know, one of them is, say, let's just throw Super Mario 3 out there. All right, you're going to click on Super Mario 3. It's going to come on the screen, and you're going to look down at the controller. It's going to look basically like a DS. That's what the controller is going to look like, with handles, of course. And on the screen, there's going to be a red glowing button on the touch screen right in the center. And while you're playing the standard look and feel of Super Mario 3, you decide at one point, yeah, I'm going to push that button. And then the game stops, and it says, 1 moment. And then, suddenly, you're playing Super Mario 3 again. But this time, with the kind of graphics you would expect from a PlayStation 3 console. With the brand new 3D effects, better sound, I'm talking orchestrated music playing in the background, Mario jumping, you have far more control. Any of the little bugs and little problems that were in the game seem to have disappeared. That's Retro Gamer. That's my console. The idea of Retro Gamer is basically to help the player community. This is done by us taking games from the past and repurposing them to be the present. Now, the reason for that is quite simple. Do you have any idea? Oh, any question? Oh, before we go on to this one, let me see. Do you have any questions for? No.
This is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Sorry, man. You were pretty straightforward with your game console. I mean, I don't know what much to say. I mean, I'm sure I'll have some questions for you later. But right now, you were pretty straightforward. You let us know exactly what was going on, what the console was going to do, the price range, everything. So, I mean, good job, Redfield. You did a good job, man. So, with the Retro Gamer, throwing the Retro Gamer back into this respect here, like I said, the controllers are going to look like a Nintendo DS. The reason for that is when you purchase the system, which is going to be $300, you get the console, you get two controllers, just not one, you get two controllers, and each of those controllers is actually their own handheld console. These are for the smaller retro games, of course, but I'll get into that one later. And thank you, Lubu, for subscribing to our channel. I appreciate that. That puts us back at 70 subscribers.
Nice.
We lost a subscriber. I'm pretty sure I know who it is too, because she doesn't watch our videos anyway. So the idea for my system is to revolutionize the way video games are thrown out to people nowadays. And I do that. Welcome. Oh, I was going to say welcome back, but he's gone. Oh, there he is. Welcome back. Hey, Ann.
I brought some mail for you.
Ah. So other than the chocolate starfish gaming, how you feeling? How'd you do?
I had the right answer and I didn't answer quick enough.
Oh, sorry to hear that. So with the Retro Gamer, like I said, it's going to come out with 3 different types of games, and each one of them have a different ending to them, or a suffix. The first are going to be the games that end with the suffix R, which are the retro games. These are going to be games from the PlayStation 2 era and down. This will include Xbox, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, and even the Nintendo GameCube. And the reason I chose this period is because the Nintendo GameCube was the literal last good system Nintendo made before it became Failtendo.
Dreamcast was better.
Of course, Dreamcast was better. That's why I added Dreamcast as one of them. In fact, I stole Dreamcast's idea. See, the original idea with the Dreamcast is it actually came with its own handheld system built into the controller.
I loved feeding the Gigapet.
Yep. Well, my controller is an actual handheld system. Now, when you turn on the system for the first time, you're going to be met with the loading screen, which is going to be a 3-dimensional loading screen, a la the PlayStation logo and everything like that, which I loved back in the day, where you push left and the whole thing would zinc left or zinc right. I love that kind of stuff. And you'll be met by the avatars. The avatars are going to be 4 individuals who are basically named to the north, south, east, and west winds, which will use different dialects from different countries. Now, unfortunately, as I said, we're going to have to make a part 2 to this. I wasn't able to hear well enough to hear the Google translation for their names. This is because we had a lot going on here at once, and I couldn't hear, so I was just going to ignore it. Now, when you first buy the system at $300, it's going to come with 10 pre-made games. Now, of them, there's going to be a couple that are going to be the R class, aka the retros. These are the ones that are going to come out with the brand new graphics, the brand new sound, and of course the fixes. Because I'll tell you, one of the worst games I ever played, and it's only because of how bad the problems with it were, was Castlevania 2 for the Nintendo. Now, what I hated about it is you never got any information. You didn't learn anything. If you didn't have game power, which at the time was the only way to do it because we didn't have internet, because I'm an old fogey. You guys don't know what that's like, but I lived in that age.
I had game. I should still have a bunch of Game Power magazines and Nintendo Power.
Yeah, Nintendo Power. But the problem was that you were supposed to get hints from the people in the villages, and you just didn't. So I would fix that. I would also fix, there was this horrible bug where whenever you would go from the day to night translation, it would stop and you go, "What a horrible night for a curse." And then it would hang up for about 15 seconds. as it switched over to night.
Was that the curse? The 15?
No, because then they made Monster Strong, and it was a curse. And then we like, you survived the night, and then it would freeze for another 15 seconds as it switched over.
That must be a curse.
It was so annoying. It was painful to watch. So the R games are going to be the ones that are the easiest to make. And here's why. They already exist. All those games already exist. The ones that would come for it, which would be the R grade, would be Super Mario 3 Retro, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past Retro, Parasite Eve Retro, and Super Mario Kart Retro. Oh, and also, just because I love the game so much, Street Fighter 2 Retro.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah! I was thinking Mortal Kombat, but I was thinking maybe we could get the viewers to get into that one. Now, the second type of games are going to be the ones that are going to be made by fans. These are all going to end with FMG at the end of them, and these are fan-made games. These are games that were made by fans who poured their heart and soul into a game, and they got torn apart because some company thought it was a stupid idea.
I forgot to mention that in mine.
So, amongst these things are going to be two that you already know. First one is AM2R, or Another Metroid 2 Remake. This was an amazing game, and the fact that Nintendo shot it down still kills me to the day. Now,
come on, now they shut down the fucking Pokemon remakes.
Oh, well, that's another one of them. Pokemon Uranium, which would be another one that would come with the game.
We're gonna have My Little Fighting Ponies.
Oh, that one was so. I wanted to play that one so badly, just so I could watch them die.
I wanted to see what the hell you were talking about.
I'll show you a video later. I'll show you.
No. I mean, see it and play it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sure I can find a demo somewhere. Now, the thing about these two games is they were made by very, very fanatic and very, very nice people, and Nintendo shut them down for no reason whatsoever. So what I would do is I would actually go and get a hold of these people, and I would ask them if I could take their idea to the next level. I would take everything they had, and I would make a brand new game. Now, it would be the same game, and they would get money from it because I would talk to Nintendo about this prior, because their asses need to get dealt with. Now, another thing is, if you pre-purchase my console, which would be an additional $50, there's a reason for it, you would actually get the either Pokemon Uranium special designed case, or you could get the AM2R special design case, which would of course be shaped, or would not be shaped, which would be colored more like Samus's armor, with a picture of Samus Aran with her helmet off, just her helmet, not bikini, you bastards.
Oh.
And Pokemon Uranium would have a couple of Uranium's Pokemon on top of it. Now, talked about the ones made by the fans. I've talked about the ones we're going to fix. But wait, there's one more game type, and that's the one that ends with FMS. FMS are the third game types, and are going to be more newer games. But the main question here is going to be what games. Well, I'll tell you what games. The games will include Command & Conquer Generals with full DLC, and Warcraft 3 with full DLC. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why would you want those to be with full modding capabilities? Well, let me tell you something. Warcraft 3, go ahead and download Defense of the Ancients with our graphics and music. Go ahead and play Command & Conquer and download our mods that people have already made. People have already made across the network. We will have games that will have full modding support, where you will actually be able to go, download the mod, and actually be able to play that mod and see if it's compatible with other mods. Mod your games up, because we are the modernsters of gaming!
Oh yeah.
This shit was coming sooner or later. You better believe it. Now, other games that I would think about putting in my library would be games like Pokemon Sage, Super Mario World, Breath of Fire 3, Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, etc., etc. The difference would be that these games would get a new spin on life. They would get a new advantage. Like I said, some of my favorite games, like I love Ocarina of Time. Great game. But the graphics aren't what they used to be. But let's take the graphics from, say, I don't know, Breath of the Wild. Or, as I like to call it, the Skyrim Legend of Zelda mod. And throw them onto Ocarina of Time. I guarantee you the game would look fantastic. Take that digital remastered music they had that's basically just a synthesizer and actually get an orchestrated group to get in there and actually play the music out. What do you think? think? I think it would sound bloody amazing. But that's just me. The whole point of my system is this. I want it to last. I don't want you to have to worry about having to run out and buy Retro Gamer 2. Here's why. I got so many games to do. What am I going to do with you? I mean, yeah, it'd be great to throw, like, I don't know.
Well, that's what my idea was with my system, make it so people don't have to keep looking for games.
Right. Well, with Retro Gamer, you don't have to do that either. It's just you don't have to look for the new games. The Retro Gamer's other advantage is the price range on games. They already exist. I don't have to put a lot of money behind these games. I don't have to put a lot of money behind any of these games, actually. If you think about it, how long has Super Mario World lasted? It's a 20-year-old game. But everything I need is right there on it. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you yawning how boring I am to you.
Sorry. That's what I figured with my system. Every game's pretty much made already.
Right. Well, with my system, every game is going to be maximum $30, minimum of $10. The reason for this is money's got to go somewhere. Money's got to go to helping me with all the copyrights I'm going to have to deal with. Money's got to go with helping fan-made games come out. Copyrights got to go towards making sure the mods don't get flagged for anything. And this is what I'm going to do. Now, like I said, some things about the console you need to know is the console itself is not going to be anything special. Liquid cooling is a must nowadays, so liquid cooling would be part of it. It would be very quiet. The system itself would have built-in developer-grade recording software.
Nice.
And a built-in camera. The reason for this is people want to go on YouTube. Well, guess what? You can go on YouTube or Twitch or any of those other system places because it'll have full access to those and full access to Facebook as well. Now, you're not going to be able to pop on Netflix. Go buy another console for that. You want to watch YouTube videos? Go ahead. They're worth it. But you want HBO on it? No. You want to get some apps on it? Go get your freaking phone. I don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. The other thing is I would like to take some of the games that were really good in the past that were only destroyed.
Wait until you get off the camera.
Okay, anyway. Some of the games from the past that were ruined because of this or that. For instance, does anyone remember a game called Clay Fighter?
Babe, you're horrible at the bunny ear.
He's already got bunny ears. Have you ever heard of a game called Clay Fighter?
No.
Maybe.
It was a fighting game based off of claymation.
Claymation.
I've heard of that.
Yep. But the problem with it is its graphics fell really quickly. The gameplay was fun, it was entertaining, but the graphics fell and there were a lot of bugs in the versions that you just couldn't get to. I'd fix that. But there are some fan-made games, and you know what? There's one fan here who has a game he would be making. Yep. Besides the games that we've already spoken of, yes, Sub, I love you. There's one more.
See, that's how you do bunny ears.
And I would call it YouTuber Fighter.
Hell yeah!
Take Smash Brothers gameplay and take YouTubers where we give them certain abilities by what they do or say or sell on their computer. Like, let me just throw in that there. How about Jacksepticeye? All right.
He'd have a whip.
What?
He'd
An
have
eye
a whip.
whip. It'd be an eye whip.
Yeah.
You guys are already thinking of ideas about what he would do behind me. Like I can't even talk about him. You guys are already thinking about it.
Sorry.
Jacksepticeye would have an eye whip. Name your next one.
Well, no, I mean he'd have more than just that.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, with Super Smash Bros, you'd have to have a minimum of 4 super abilities.
Okay, so the eye whip, the subscribe button where he punches them in the face.
We're gonna be doing an entire video on YouTuber Fighter next, anyways,
Yes.
folks. I mean,
Okay, well, hold on for that next video.
Yeah,
We'll do YouTuber Fighter.
we'll throw that one out sometime this week. We'll just make it.
Hell
It
yeah.
won't even be a live stream. We'll just talk about it.
Be a 5-hour-long video.
Might as well be. So that's like the idea behind the Retro Gamer. The Retro Gamer would be a semi-cheap system which would have full support. But the big thing about it is I would like to have it set where we would have very, very big support when it comes to fans and the actual the system itself. For instance, let's say Subliminal here has an idea for a new game. And it turns out to be an amazing game. Well, we here at Retro Gamers would like to jump on that as quickly as possible and see if we couldn't get the game out there.
I have plenty of ideas.
Well, what about mods? Anyone have an idea for a mod? Just talk to the gamers. We would do it. Retro Gamer wants to hear it, because what Retro Gamer would want to do is it would want to talk to the fans. Every month, our website would have a list of 10 games, and we would have fans vote on them. And the games that got the top 3 spots would be the top 3 games that come out as the next release. And that's how we would choose our retro games. So, for instance, let's say you're a big fan of Final Fantasy VI, which I am too. The one that just came out recently on Steam was buzzkill as far as I'm considered. It could have done a lot better. With Retro Gamer, it could do amazing. Imagine all the fun of the Final Fantasy VI game with the graphics of Final Fantasy 9 or 10. You better believe it. Will you stop yawning? I hate you. Well, I'm
having too much fun with the camera.
Yep, you just pop on and boop. And of course, I would definitely like to try to get a hold of Steam as well to see if Steam couldn't be of some support. Because here's the thing. You would never have to worry about going to any game store to ever purchase a game. Every game would be digital download.
Do you want to know?
You're gonna punch in the gut.
Do you guys want to do a video? What's up?
What?
Thank you! I'm sorry I'm boring you.
Oh, sorry. It's just that her antlers are starting to bother me.
So anyway.
Fine, I'll just put on my defense shield.
Oh, he's going to put the helmet back on. Okay. So the bigger deal would definitely be the...
Something don't seem right here.
The fact that you would be able to purchase all games online and digitally download. Now, the reason for that is simple. Nothing's more annoying than getting a game for somebody and finding out they really just don't want that game. And then you go back to GameStop, because I used to work there, and because they ripped the plastic off of it and played it once, suddenly the game it's garbage quality. So now you only get...
Until they put it back on the shelf.
Right.
Then it's great quality.
Right, because then we just put saran wrap back on it.
They don't even do that sometimes.
No, they just have the cases out.
That's what we used to do. Anyway, so what I would do is, let's say that I bought Subliminal, say, My Little Pony Fighting is Magic for $30. And
God damn, that's a big price.
Well, it's a fan-made game. It's going to require more money because it's going to require more things behind it.
True.
Now, let's say that Subliminal had already actually purchased it for himself because he thinks it's an amazing idea to beat people down with My Little Pony characters, which I think is a fucking great idea, and I hate bronies! I do, I fucking hate them, but anyway.
That's who you would be fighting.
That's basically you'd be fighting nothing but bronies. But I find out that Subliminal actually already purchased it. Well, I could go and return it.
Fight the people you hate.
Exactly. I could go and return it, but with Retro Gamer, I can just push one button and click return, and they'll just put the money back on. The last thing about Retro Gamer is the most important, though. It's called achievements. I hate achievements because they're useless. They mean nothing.
And they take up space.
Yes, they take up space and they mean nothing. Congratulations, you air juggled a guy for 6 minutes straight in Brawlhalla.
And now they're dead and pissed at you.
Yeah, but what did you get from it? You get a
trophy.
You get a trophy, yay!
And a screenshot with that trophy.
Well, we at Retro Gamer take that to the next level. Retro Gamer would have our own achievements, and these achievements would do everything from maybe unlocking a free skin for your game. Like there's a Kirby Dream Course game where they actually put the Game Grumps into. I was just watching the video earlier today. It's pretty cool. Go watch the Game Grumps. They're better than us. Anyway, so maybe if you beat a course on a hole-in-one, you might unlock a new skin for your character.
Or for a golf.
Or a golf ball, or maybe you'd unlock a new level. That's what I'm talking about with an achievement. Achievements have a purpose.
But right now they don't.
Well, there's another purpose for my achievements. If you happen to get all the achievements on a single game, you'll get an achievement trophy. Now, this doesn't sound like much, but this achievement trophy can actually be used and traded in later on with other achievement trophies to get free swag from us. Maybe you get 5 trophies and we send you a free t-shirt.
That'd be cool.
Maybe you get 20 trophies and we give you a 10% off coupon on your next purchase. And by the way, when I'm talking purchase, I'm not talking one game. I'm talking everything that's in your cart.
That's nice.
That would be probably a better thing.
Oh, I'm just saying that those are the things I do. There are some people that are literally completionists. There's actually a guy called the Completionist on the internet right now. You should watch him. He's better than us. And I would definitely.
Putting yourself down.
I'm putting myself down. I'm allowed to.
No, you're not.
Shut up! I'm allowed to put myself down.
No, you're not.
Leave me alone! I'm bad. Anyways, I mean, I know he would rack up some serious points because I've seen the games he plays, and a lot of the games he plays are games I would see on Retro Gamer. So we already know he's going to get T-shirts and hats and everything. So with that, I think I've wasted enough time. I'm sorry, folks. There will be another video later on sometime where I'll continue talking about things, or if people have questions for any of us here, just please put them down in the comments below. The last comment we had was not a friendly one, so I don't want to get that one anymore. Apparently somebody was complaining about a title and that somebody should speak up louder. And it was just a very mean, nasty, and it wasn't even spell checked properly message. And this person was just very cruel to us.
When was this?
Oh, it was just recently. We were doing an unboxing or something like that. You know, just like a month ago.
Oh. That's right. I forgot.
So speaking of mean and nasty comments, Rebel Vanity, do you have any questions for me?
Apparently not.
Subliminal, do you have any questions for me?
No, you answered most of them.
All right. Now, the reason I saved Rebel for last isn't because I wanted to pick on her or anything like that. Rebel's a great person. The reason I wanted to do it is, unlike myself, Redfield,
Sorry.
and Subliminal, who have all basically chosen a similar route, Rebel actually takes it to a freaking 11. So, Miss Vanity, if you would not mind, begin talking about your wonderful system, which is called...
The Retro Diamond. I think that's what I said. Yeah, Retro Diamond.
No, it wasn't retro. It was...
Virtual Diamond?
No. It was something to do with the past. It wasn't...
Nostalgia Box.
No, it was Nostalgia Diamond.
Yeah.
Nostalgia Diamond.
Let me describe what it's going to look like first. The console itself, in a sense. It's going to be like almost like the shape of the GameCube, if you remember what that is. But it's going to be tilted.
If you remember what that is.
Yes, well, her idea is she's going to have a GameCube that's kind of be tilted on a little stand.
Yeah.
So it looks like a diamond.
Yeah.
Cool.
But here's where mine differs from theirs. It's going to be nothing but VR.
Yep.
But it's going to be for retro type nostalgic games. Where it's going to be like first person Mario type.
Imagine playing Super Mario 64, but rather than be standing behind the back of that fat red plumber that everyone hates, because I fucking hate him.
There's good reason to.
I love Luigi. I'm a Luigi fanatic. I love Luigi. Mario sucks. But anyways, now you're in the eyes of that plumber. Yes, he is. You're in the eyes of that plumber. And you're running around doing jumps and skips and watching yourself fall to your death and watching thwomps fall on you. And I can just imagine myself screaming like a little girl every second. You're like, ah! 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 Eventually, just like run into a wall. And
Then she quits the game because...
Rage quit!
Too many holes!
Yeah, just so that's the kind of idea for her system, which I fucking love the idea. VR isn't exactly what I would say is off the walls yet, but this is a great. I hate the freaking camera because I look this way and it's a great idea over there. Just put the antennas. Her. Continue, please. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you're gonna have like VR headsets, like in the shape of this, in a sense, but it's also gonna have the headphones attached to it.
So you can't hear people sneaking up on your arse.
It's also going to have
perfect for jump scare
small camera on the system, like a Kinect kind of thing, so it watches your motions.
I was about to ask how you moved in it, but that's actually a pretty cool idea.
And then you're also going to have a mat, like a small mat that registers your jumps.
Right, you said a jump mat.
Yeah.
So it's going to have controllers, headset, a camera to watch, and a jump pad.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's pretty fun when you have jump scare games and someone comes up behind you.
So you know someone's gonna get injured.
Yes.
You know I'm gonna be playing Resident Evil 2, and Nick's gonna rush up behind me and poke me. I'm just gonna wail on him on camera.
That's why in like the warranty paper that comes with it, it's gonna be a little section saying that you're not allowed to sue us if you get hurt.
Warning! Cannot sue if you slug your best friend for tapping you on the shoulder.
Exactly.
Ah!
But yeah, it's gonna have like all the older games, but with better graphics and like
well, they would have
more
to be
submerged into it.
Well, that would be the big issue. You'd have to have that because, like I said, games like Mario 64 do not have VR support.
So, is your game going to be bulky movement like the VRs we have today?
No, it's gonna be more smooth movement.
Well, I think because she's using a camera like the Kinect, and I've seen some of the games you have to play on the Kinect, like, you know, you have to make certain positions with your body, like there's a dance game where you have to like position yourself perfectly to make it work, and it's pretty streamlined. I think it would be a pretty streamlined section.
Okay.
Because the other thing she's talking about the fact that where a lot of the VR systems are, you have the big clunky gloves. Well, you've seen them, right? The big they're the controllers.
Get me the Nintendo glove, I'll be good.
Now I'm playing with power. Hers, on the other hand, is basically if her character leans forward, the character in the game is going to lean forward. If she reaches up, the character is going to reach up. And that seems like a pretty sweet idea. Although I can see certain games not working with that.
Yeah.
I would definitely not want to try and play her game with, say, Street Fighter. Just see Ryu just roundhouse me, just oh god, no, turn back, just flailing at him wildly, trying to speed bag him. Ah! I definitely
Error has not registered.
I'm just getting my ass kicked. Will not register. Ah! Why is there pain receptors? There aren't pain receptors, right?
Yes.
There are?
Yes.
No! Ah! Ah!
So wait, does that mean you'll die in real life?
No.
If you die in the game, you die in the real world!
No, it's
We're
not.
going all hacking, Sword
Yeah,
Art.
I was gonna say it's not Sword Art Online.
It's Sword Art Online! Everyone run! Don't buy her console! Run!
Some
it's
dot hack,
it's gonna be
Sword
like
Art
it's gonna be
bullshit
more
right
like
there.
little stickers that stick on the back of your neck that vibrate.
Okay, well, that's actually a pretty cool idea.
Okay.
But if you die, you get a little shock.
That's not a good idea. That's gonna get you sued. You can't do
No,
that.
I'm joking. I'm joking. That's not gonna be. But yeah, and price wise, I was originally gonna do it cheaper so more people would buy it.
Sweetie, the
But-
price slide you're giving it is still cheap.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like
350 bucks for a VR system that's going to give you that capability when most of them are like $700. That's half price. Now, of course, the reason behind hers is the same reason why mine and Subliminals and Redfields would be so cheap. We're using games that already exist.
Yeah.
Now, that just goes to show you what kind of gamers we are. However, YouTube Fighter and a couple other ideas I have for games, which we'll bring up in a later video, will show you how more ideal my console will be.
Oh, I see how it is.
What?
Nothing.
Hey.
Nothing.
Let me
I
just
thought
say-
we were gonna make the game together. It's cool. You make the game. It's for your console.
YouTube Fighters by TMOG.
Oh, okay.
In fact, the entire retro game is TMOG. Did you hear me say it?
no, he wasn't in the room.
Oh, he wasn't in the room when I said it. Yeah, because the game is made by us. We are the monsters of gaming.
Well, so would my system as well, probably. So.
Probably, maybe. Throwing it out there now to make myself seem like a team player and not have it be made by Subliminal Games.
No.
Yeah, I'm watching you. Don't you try anything. I'm watching you, skinny boy.
No, it'll most likely be by TMOG because there's more people, so it would be easier.
I mean, we can guarantee that Necro Nick's going to have some cool ideas. Redfield, Kitten of Doom.
Well, Redfield had an idea, didn't he?
Well, I'm talking for the YouTube gamer.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'd say Reaper Rose, but she doesn't even watch these things anyway. Yeah, that was another shot of her. You know, I'm going to do a compilation of every time we say that. Just to show her how often it is that we say she doesn't even watch these videos.
She doesn't even watch these videos.
She doesn't.
She doesn't, I know, because she's no longer one of our subscribers. You remember when I said that we only had 69 subscribers and I knew who was missing? Yes, it's actually her.
Oh, we're back to 70.
Yep.
Woo! Get that number up, yo.
Yeah, yo.
Yo.
Dog.
Yo, dog. Get that number up.
Home slice.
Get your family in. You
Wiggity
know we
wiggity
funny.
whack. I
You know we funny. Ah! My kneecap broke because of that, yo.
Wow.
Are you really doing the L sign?
In the shape of an L on her forehead.
I'm just gonna give you an Indian burn. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt.
And with that, folks, I think we're going to call this video. So I don't even know what that would be considered. Is that like fins or what is that?
am an alien. They're antennas.
Okay. Where floats your collective boats, I guess. We'll probably come up with some more ideas, but I think the next time we'll have them in video form. Next week's live stream should be an interesting one. There's reasons for it. One of them is because I have an announcement to make that I will not be making until that day, so not even these guys are going to know about it.
What's the matter?
He's not even listening.
Exactly.
So, until next time, folks, I'm Kaiju K.
I'm subliminal. Subliminal.
And I'm Rebel Vanity.
And we'll see you all in the future.
Tri-tail, tri-claw, tri-dog, dog trail, something, bacon, food. I'm hungry. I'm going to get me a Reese's.
Peace out, everybody.